Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Soviet Tier 10 Premium Heavy Tank, the Obj-780. Now most people know what the 780 is, because most people got it in the, I think it was Allegiance? In the Season Pass, whichever one it was. They got it in the Season Pass a wee while ago. And the 780 is a pretty damn nice heavy tank. It's definitely in the heavium branch. You don't want to go brawling so much with, head-on, mouse-type brawling with heavy tanks, right? You want to be using the pretty good mobility this thing's got, 45 kilometers an hour, to get yourselves into good position and just keep working them over with what is a fantastic gun that this Soviet tank has. Because this tank can put out damage pretty damn nicely. The gun behaves itself pretty well, although I have, and you're going to... There's a theme to this video, and that is I have problems with this gun when I'm firing standard. For some reason, this gun just goes, and miss. And you know what, I felt like missing that one too, and that one. But as soon as I loaded gold, yeah, no, naturally, it just decides, okay, I'm going to hit every shot you're going to take, because I like hitting them. And that's the way it is. So, like, this replay scene, it's played normally, and the second replay is firing full gold, and the second replay is a pretty damn good game. I added it, to be fair. And it just happened to be the one or two games that I was like, I'm just going to fire full gold to see what it feels like with this gun. Because the shell velocity on the premium is what makes the gun handling make it feel fantastic. Because it goes up to 1,480 meters a second from 1,100. Which just makes the gun feel utterly phenomenal. Especially shooting at range. Which means that the premium round is just far better than the standard round. Which is kind of sad. But in terms of the armor on this tank is actually really quite nice. And then at the same time, completely useless. If you've played the 780, you know what I mean. You seem to bounce a lot of shots, but then randomly, all of a sudden, everything pens you and sets you on fire. And you go, wait, but my armor was good a second ago. By the way, that's one of those shots that the AP just goes, nah. But yeah. You're like, wait a minute, I was bouncing everything. Why is my armor failing now? And that's because the lower plate is actually really good, but it gets destroyed by premium rounds completely. And so does the upper plate. The upper plate is the exact same, where it bounces a lot of shots, but as soon as people just spam the premium, all of a sudden, the frontal armor just dies. It's got very good frontal turret armor, though, and you do have 7 degrees of gun depression, which is very on-Soviet and is very, very nice for working positions like this that you're seeing on Sunset Coast. And it means you can just use a ridgeline really, really well, and it's very good at being hulled down, which is why I say it's more like the heavium playstyle, because you don't want to be trying to rely on your frontal armor, because it will just get penned every now and then, that you sit there going, why? Why did that work? Why did that pen me? So, get to your flanking positions, go hull down, and absolutely laugh at things. And that's where the strength of the tank is going to go. And there's the fire. This tank does like getting set on fire. But yeah, you've got 267 penetration on the AP with 311 on the APCR. It's very IS-70, I was going to say, really, because that 267 pen is very, very nice. Well, that's a lot more than the IS-7's 250. But the 311 pen is also pretty damn nice as well, because you can use that to go through quite a few tanks that you might struggle with the AP. And like I say, the velocity is utterly fantastic. And another round there that just which just gets frustrating with this AP round. Like I say, it's one of those things where, like, I have frustrations with this tank at times, and then firing full gold just seems to alleviate that, because for some reason, well, not for some reason, the APCR round on this tank is just flat out 100% better than the standard AP, and there's really a sad no point to the AP. But that's because the penetration is great, and the velocity just makes this gun feel phenomenal. You do have 530 alpha damage as well, which is really, really quite nice. Means that you don't roll for, like, 480, 490 as much as you might do with some of the other tanks like the IS-7. You're rolling for 530. You can see some of those rolls sometimes where it gets like to 600 and you sit there going, whew, that was a roll. Stuff like that. But yeah, let's say, oh, that was a nice shot there into the top of that E100's turret bar. But yeah, the 780 is a pretty damn nice tank. It does what it does pretty consistently, pretty nicely. You just keep slapping out the rounds, keep yourselves in a good flank position, and you can just, slap out the damage pretty much. So what do I want to run in terms of a crew on the Obj-780? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanics, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Off-Road Driving. Off-Road Driving to help this thing get up to its 45 kilometers an hour at top speed, just to alleviate the pressures of the ground resistances on the top speed and the engine, so that I can actually hit it and get that good mobility. And then all the gun perks, because I do want to make this gun as good as possible, because it does have 0.35 accuracy, which is, again, it's not on the derpy side of things, but it's also not on the accurate side of things. It's just sitting in that middle point. So you want, and you are a heavy tank, so I do want to help this gun out as much as possible. And then in terms of equipment, I do run the advanced loader, the gun stabilizer, and optics. The advanced loader to be able to make my DPM as good as possible. The gun stabilizer to make this gun feel and work as nicely as it can by reducing the effect of turning and movement on my dispersions. And then optics to be able to spot for myself. Because the one thing that this tank actually does have is 410 meters of view range, which is mad high, because usually most heavy tanks cap out at like 400. This having 410 is beautiful. It means that you can, especially if you're on maps like Malinovka, Prokhorovka, you can get some filthy spotting damage at times, especially if you set it up to be able to spot with stuff like code optics and situational awareness, and you'll have a pretty damn nice time with the 780 in those kinds of games. The other thing that does help this tank, by the way, is I think it's 1.9 seconds of aim time that this tank has, which is utterly phenomenal. It means this gun just gets aimed in so quickly, which is why you could decide if you wanted to drop the vertical stabilizers and make it so that this tank goes faster by running a traction system. But I was getting frustrated with the gun, so I decided to go back to the gun stabilizer. But you could, like I say, you could quite happily run the traction system instead and get up to 49 kilometers an hour, just have that nicer top speed. But I like having the gun handling for shots like that against that WZ-120. You saw the 120 poke out to try and get a shot at me. I decided to try and duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge. Thankfully, he ricocheted off my armour, and our gun just went, I'm going to hit that, and we managed to slap the shot straight into that WZ-120. And we're up to 6.9k damage with 1200 assistance, 3 kills, there's only 1 tank left, and unfortunately we couldn't quite get there in time to get the shot into that gorilla. But we did finish the game with a really nice total for the 780, we finished with the victory, 7,000 damage, 1200 assistance, ace tanker, high caliber, Confederate, the 1600 base XP. A really nice game for the Obj-780 there. Really showed off what it's capable of. You know, you get yourselves into those flanked positions and you'll dish out the damage really consistently with this gun, which can be pretty damn nice. And we're on to the second replay of the video, and we are on this map, which is Rosena. It was quite a while ago, actually, this replay, I think. And yeah, as you can see, we've got the full gold, because one of my thoughts for this video was basically, and to be honest, this is a video I planned a long time ago. I just ended up getting this replay, which was, you're going to see it's a really nice game. And then I just sort of never really played the tank that much again, or when I did, I got absolutely boned. And stuff like the fires that you saw in the last game happens all the time, and I'd basically die and do nothing. So yeah, my thought for the video that I actually had planned originally, which was, again, quite a while ago, you'll see from probably the date of when I played this game in the post-game stats at the end of the video, was to go, okay, I want to sort of point out that this gun is a nice gun when I'm firing AP, but there's just a fair few shots where it misses, and I sit there going, why did that miss? That really shouldn't have. But if I'm firing APCR, it just seems to they're like laser-guided missiles. They go straight into exactly where I want to hit, and it's really beautiful. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to play a few games with it full APCR, just to show off the difference in the gun handling because of that 1500 meters a second shell velocity that this tank has. And this game happened about 2 games in, and it was like, well, that's nice. Okie dokies then. So yeah, we're on Rosena. And on Rosena, we've taken this little position here at G4, so that we can go hull down and we can pop over and just pop shots out like you've just seen against this chieftain. This chieftain's made mistakes driving out in front of us, and we put another shot straight into this guy. He's managed to get back behind cover, though. We've just got to be careful of what's going off on our left. That is a Cobra. The Cobra could hurt if we're not very careful, because obviously it could be firing the heat clip, or it could be firing the Hesh. If it's firing the Hesh, that's not a good time. We'll try and get a shot into the lower plate there of the chieftain as he pokes out, but unfortunately the shot just hit his... Well, he pulled back just in time there, and it only hit his tracks. The M46 pattern is starting to drive around the corner, so hopefully we can shut him down. And, yep, the shot flies straight in and shuts down the M46. Now I decide, okay, I'm going to push in and try and pressure this chieftain. Because this chieftain, obviously I'm full health still. This chieftain is a 2-shot for me. So if we can get rid of the chieftain, then I can start focusing on what is going on the left. But just as soon as I pull over, it's like, oh, goodness me, that is a Jagdpanzer. I don't want to take that hit. Nope. I don't want to deal with the Jagdpanzer's hit whatsoever. So what we're going to do is come around the other side and see if he can actually shoot us from there. And yeah, he can. But he fires. We have APCR loaded, so naturally, because we're full gold, so we can go straight through the superstructure of that Jagdpanzer E100, absolutely no problem. If we'd had AP loaded there, we wouldn't have been able to pen that shot. But we decided to not shoot the Jagdpanzer there. We go for the shot into the Chieftain because we wanted to get the gun out of the game. Obviously, I could have just sat there farming this Jagdpanzer safely, but I decided, no, I want to be able to get rid of that gun. Now we're trying to side-scrape the Jagdpanzer. He doesn't pen us there. He's actually firing HE. So he splashed us with a HE round, damaged our fuel tanks, because like I say, the fuel tanks on the 780 go all of the time. You've got to be very, very careful with the 780 fuel tanks. You're best, if the 780's fuel tanks get damaged, just repair them, because you're going to get set on fire, and it's not a good time for you when that happens. But now we've come into a position where we're flanked against this Cobra and this Type 5. We got a shot into the side of the Type 5, but we're going to go see if we can get a shot into the Cobra. But actually, we have a shot into the lower plate of the Project-66. So we get a shot into him. Now the Cobra's coming, and I'm like, oh god, no, Mr. Cobra, I don't want your Hesh clip. You're clearly trying to get your Hesh into us here. We take a shot from behind, and he is actually firing heat here. He's not even firing Hesh, he's firing heat. He's not getting any of those shells through my upper or lower plate with heat, and we shut him down. The Jagdpanzer E100 is back over, and I'm like, okay, you know what, this guy was firing HE. I might be able to take a hit from him if we just go for the shot into his superstructure. And as you can see, we popped the shot straight into his superstructure there. The Jagdpanzer, if you're firing anything that's over 300 pen, you can go straight through the superstructure of that poor guy, just like the turret cheeks of an E100. The Type 5 Heavy drives around the corner, and it's like, well, this is an opportunity to get a shot straight through his turret face. So we do that. Again, if we're firing AP, we wouldn't be able to pen that shot, which is, again, where the APCR rounds are just so nice to use for this tank. We try and get a shot through the cheeks there, but I flinch it because it's like, oh no, I don't want to take the HE shell. Now there's a 279E coming for us, and we are very alone against this 279E. So we're aiming for the right angle of the corner there, because that is the weak spot of shooting the 279E. And I'm trying my best to just keep wiggling, keep angling, to make it as difficult as possible for this guy to pen us. 636. Wow, that's a roll right there. We're waiting for the reload now. Again, we're just keeping moving. We're not making it easy for this 279E, and this time he does actually manage to pen us. But we shut down the 279E, putting us up to 7,100 damage so far. Looking for the side shot there into the Jagdpanzer. We get that in for 516. Just waiting on this reload again to go around and try and shut this guy down, but he is now looking at us. And even if he's firing HE, I don't really want to take that hit. But he's at a strange angle that I just feel like I wasn't going to hit. Turkey's actually come round to try and shoot him. The Jagdpanzer now realises that he's got a tank behind him, tries to pull over to get the shot into us, and we shut down that Jagdpanzer. Now we've got the Type 5 Heavy in front of us, who is looking the other way. We put the shot straight through the back of the Type 5's turret, and he gets shut down by I think it was the Death Star there, I think that one. The two of them got shut down at the same time. Now there's a T95 to shoot. We've got to be careful. We're getting detected there. We can't poke up there, because if we get detected, there's a good chance that whatever was looking at us would try and get a shot at us. We go for the lower plate of the T95, but we are shooting at an extremely strange angle of that T95 if we're trying to get that shot in. We've still got the lower plate, though. He is tracked, and unfortunately, it ricochets just off of the lower plate once again. We can pen the lower plate with the premium round. We've just got to hope that it doesn't quite hit the spot where it will just ricochet. We get the shot in that time, and we high roll to get the top gun. Beautiful 570 to get that top gun. Now there's only 2 tanks left. We're up to 8.8k damage. I'm looking at this going, hey, is this could be 10k, you know? So the E4 gets spotted. We're going to poke over, try our best to get the shot into his side, which we do for 511, 9.3k damage. Okay, one more shot and we're in the realms of getting 10k. We get detected, but I'm willing to possibly risk a shot here just to get one more into him. We do get detected this time, though, and the E4 starts looking at us. He misses. So does the Tyrann that's left on the enemy team that was spotted over there. We know exactly where he is now because he fired at us, and we are one shot off of 10k. So let's go. We want to try and get that if we can. So we try to poke over. We start to poke over here, and the 60T, not 60, but the Project-66 takes a big hit from the Tyrann. The Tyrann never got spotted, and now he is just staring at me. I know where he is, but but I can't do much about it. So we're just going to sit and wait for him to get spotted, because Turkey's on his way round. Then he spots us, and we can't see him. Remember, we've got crazy good view range. We just cannot see this Turan, and unfortunately, the Turan gets spotted, and instead of trying to get the shot in to shut us down, he pulls away so that we can't actually shoot at him. And now we're just kind of trapped in this little spot here. Kind of hoping that this guy comes over to try and get a shot at us, but unfortunately for me, the Projecto-66 is starting to farm him, and the Turan isn't really too bothered about coming over. So the sad thing is for us is that the Projecto-66 shuts down the Turan. Not sad that we win, but sad that we get the top gun. We get so close to 10,000 damage, so close, and we finished with 6 kills, 9,808 damage, ace tanker, sniper, top gun, high caliber, the steel wall, 1950 base XP. A really nice game for the Soviet tier 10 heavy tank there, the 780. Like I say, the gun handling on the tank just feels that world above when I'm firing the APCR on it, but you know, you can get along with the AP fine anyway. But it is a pretty damn nice heavy tank. You just got to get along with how troll the armor can be, and the fuel tanks. The fuel tanks are a big thing. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!